Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of Secrets of the Ancient World, where we explore some of the most mysterious archaeological sites across the globe. Today, we'll be visiting England's famous Stonehenge monument and discussing its connection to the ancient Druids. The Druids are often depicted as these mystical sorcerers, performing human sacrifices and other dark rituals in the shadows of these standing stones. But is there any truth to this? Did the Druids really use Stonehenge for their rituals? And what exactly were the Druids anyway? Let's get into it. We hope that you enjoy today's episode, and if you do, please don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss an exciting episode. Stonehenge is one of the world's most famous prehistoric sites, drawing in around 1.5 million visitors every single year. This awe-inspiring stone circle located in Wiltshire, England, has captured the imagination of people all over the world. Comprised of 30 standing stones, Stonehenge is thought to have been built around 3000 BC, making it around 5,000 years old. It took hundreds of thousands of hours of labor to drag, lift, and organize the massive stones that make up Stonehenge, and we still don't know exactly how they did it. But archaeologists have managed to piece together some of its history, thanks to various excavations and scientific tests conducted over the years. The site was originally enclosed by a circular ditch and a bank, which may have been used as a burial ground before the construction of the standing stones began. The first phase of construction saw the erection of the smaller heel stone at the center of the site, followed by the construction of the outer ring of larger sarsen stones. These stones were brought from nearby Marlborough Downs, about 16 miles away, and were transported during the winter months when the river crossings were at their easiest. Each of these sarsen stones weighs an average of 25 tons, with the tallest reaching up to 30 feet in height. Archaeologists believe that wooden rollers and levers were used to move and lift these huge stones into place. And while there are many theories on how exactly they accomplished this feat, we may never know for sure. In later phases of construction, smaller stones known as bluestones were added. These stones were transported from the Preseli Hills in southwest Wales, a journey of around 145 miles each way. Each of these stones weighs around 3 to 4 tons, but some could weigh as much as 10 tons. We don't know why the builders went to such great lengths to acquire these stones, but it may have something to do with their source location. Some scholars believe that the builders considered the Preseli Hills to be sacred because of their strange geology, which includes a natural arch known as the Gateway to Wales. The builders of Stonehenge may have believed that these stones held special powers or represented certain deities. But what purpose did Stonehenge serve? Unfortunately, since there are no written records from the time of its construction, we can only speculate as to its purpose. It seems likely that Stonehenge served multiple purposes over the course of its construction, which spanned many generations. The site may have initially been used as a burial ground, and archaeologists have found evidence of cremated remains within the ditches and banks surrounding the monument. Later, it may have been used for religious ceremonies and rituals, perhaps connected to the solstices and equinoxes, as the builders took great care to align the stones with the rising sun on these important days. Finally, in later periods, Stonehenge seems to have taken on a more celebratory function, with evidence suggesting that people gathered here for feasts and other festivities. So where do the Druids fit into all of this? Well, the Druids played an important role in the cultural and religious life of the ancient Celts. They were a kind of priest class who acted as teachers, judges, and advisors to the Celtic nobility. Unfortunately, our knowledge of the Druids is limited, as they left no written records behind, and most of what we know comes from accounts by their enemies, such as the Romans and the Greeks. According to these accounts, the Druids practiced a form of nature worship and believed that the earth was inhabited by spirits that must be appeased. They venerated trees and sacred groves, and it was in these groves that they performed their rituals. The Druids also kept sacred fires burning, and it was said that whenever these fires went out, they predicted misfortune for the tribe. The Druids were also skilled in healing, and it was believed that they could cure diseases by using herbs and incantations. However, they were also feared for their supposed ability to inflict harm on others, and it was said that they could curse people to make them ill or even cause their death. Perhaps the most infamous of their practices was human sacrifice, which was said to have been carried out to appease the gods or to ensure the success of a military campaign. But did the Druids really practice human sacrifice at Stonehenge? There is no evidence to support this claim, and it is likely a product of the propaganda put out by the Romans, who sought to demonize the Druids and paint them as savages in order to justify their conquest of Celtic lands. What is clear is that the Druids venerated the natural world, and that they sought to live in harmony with the forces of nature. It is therefore unlikely that they would have engaged in practices that would disrupt the balance of nature, such as human sacrifice. So where does this leave us? If the Druids didn't practice human sacrifice, then why is that story so persistent in our collective memory? One reason may be that the story serves as a cautionary tale, a warning of the dangers of those who practice witchcraft and seek to control the forces of nature. In a world where the balance of nature is delicate, we are reminded that we must not interfere with the powers of the natural world, or we may just cause them to turn against us. Additionally, the story of Druidic human sacrifice may have been exaggerated or fabricated entirely by those seeking to persecute and eradicate these mysterious societies. Throughout history, there have been many instances of powerful groups using fear and propaganda to control the masses. In the case of the Druids, their perceived connection to the devil and their supposed practice of human sacrifice may have been used as a way to justify their persecution and ultimate destruction. Another reason why the story persists is that we are naturally drawn to the macabre. Human sacrifice is a taboo subject in our society, and yet we are fascinated by it. We want to know about it, and we want to hear stories about it, even if those stories are not true. So what is the legacy of Stonehenge and the Druids? Despite their persecution, the Druids survived for centuries. They adapted to the changing times and continued to practice their religion in secret. Today, there is a growing interest in Druidry as a nature-based religion. Modern Druids draw inspiration from the ancient Celts and strive to live in harmony with the natural world. At Stonehenge, the ancient stones continue to stand as a testament to the ingenuity and creativity of our ancestors. Each rock monolith tells the story of a bygone era, a time when people lived in harmony with the natural world, and when they had a deep respect for the power of the earth. Visiting Stonehenge today, we can feel the energy of the past. We can stand in the shadow of these ancient stones and connect with the people who built them. It is a humbling experience that reminds us of the power of the human spirit. We hope you enjoyed learning more about Stonehenge and the Druids. Now next episode 3, Celtic myths and Druid secrets revealed, is lined up for you. If you did, please don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss an exciting episode. Thanks for watching.